All right, and here's the research guide for the second session. Again, same structure, pre-quiz, post-quiz. And the title of this session is Information Quality. And the intro here addresses the idea that ecosystems are threatened by low-quality inputs. So we want students to make sure that they're getting good quality information. Here's a quick little video talking about scholarly and non-scholarly information. Now, the other session it would have been introduced. Here we're reinforcing that. And here's a diagram of the peer review process. And I like to invoke students' prior experience with peer review in secondary schools. Many of them have had it. But then point out that scholarly peer review is similar, but that there are added complicating factors. So it's a little bit more. And then a couple of videos on scholarly publications. These videos stress that for many disciplines, scholarly journals are the most highly regarded. I also like how it points out that scholarly journals are not equal, that there are better ones. I usually like to talk to students about how experience in the field should help them get a sense of which are the big dogs, so to speak. Then we have another check-in. Then a couple of videos on non-scholarly information. I try to point out circumstances when non-scholarly materials can have value in research, but try to stress that students need to clear using non-scholarly sources with their instructor and try to reinforce that most of their information should be peer-reviewed. Then we have a couple videos on primary, secondary, and tertiary sources of information. I like the way this first video shows how a particular source can be either primary or secondary depending on how we use them. And then I really like this next video from Project Information Literacy about using Wikipedia responsibly in academic research as a source of background information, key terms, names, dates, etc., and potential sources down in the reference area, but that it should never be cited itself as a source. And finally, a video that gives students a heuristic model for evaluating information. The video talks about websites specifically, but I like to point out that any information source can be and should be evaluated, and this is a kind of a quick and easy way into evaluation. And there's a handout down here that they should print out for the face-to-face session. Then we have one last check-in with the bird, of course. Now in the face-to-face session this time, we have a presentation on plagiarism and some tips on avoiding it. And we do an evaluation activity where students get some practice with the evaluation heuristic. Then we have planned activities on primary, secondary, and tertiary information sources, recognizing scholarly and non-scholarly information, and an activity in which students can practice using Wikipedia properly. Usually we can do 4 of these activities, so we'll ask you which one we should leave off. This session, by the way, does not have to take place in the library. It can take place in the classroom. We just need to make sure that students bring their laptops because some of the activities will require them to access the web, or at least enough of them so that students can group around each other. Thanks.